everybody. We're here at Bett Show with Yasmin from Teachers Talk Radio. Thank you very much for joining us, Yasmin.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all, no problem at all. So tell us about yourself and tell us about Teachers Talk Radio, what you do and why you're here at Bett today.
So Teachers Talk Radio is essentially something created by teachers and for teachers and anyone that works in education. We hold free CPD events all the time for teachers to discuss different topics and subjects with different focuses all the time, and we also host live shows, sometimes that are CPD and sometimes that are just discussing current events that are held essentially every day.
Fantastic, sounds great. So you work with a lot with teachers.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the biggest challenge that you're hearing from those teachers and other educators regarding accessible, quality professional development?
I'd say the most common thing that I hear is a lack of time.
Yeah.
School, it can be extremely difficult. Working in education at any level can be extremely difficult, and I think a lot of teachers just don't have the time. They have interest in learning about different topics and areas, but they often just simply don't have the time to access any CPD outside of school.
Yeah, the world of a teacher is a busy one, isn't it? Absolutely.
And also, actually, a lot of events are held during school hours.
Very true.
And it's actually really difficult to get time off in order to do that.
That's a good point, yeah. So what specific problems does Teachers Talk Radio solve for those kind of educators that are out there? And how does your live interactive format stand out from the kind of traditional classroom model?
So I think what I really like about Teachers Talk Radio is because it is created by teachers, it means that it's always running in teachers' spare time.
Absolutely.
And so shows, they can run late into the evening, they can run on weekends, sometimes they're really early, sometimes they're much later in the day, and essentially they are always running at times where teachers would typically be free and what would be their own time. And also because it's online and they're shared across so many different platforms, it means that it also is accessible and considerate of the different platforms that different people use.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that you're on so many different platforms it shows, because you have 1 million downloads, don't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
can't
which is
believe
fantastic
that.
for the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you've also got 36 teacher hosts that are actually doing the podcast with you and for you, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. And they're broadcasting on a daily basis as well, aren't they?
They are,
Which is great. So what does the future of teacher-led kind of professional learning look like to you?
I'd say it would look like CPD or just kind of discussions that happen in teachers' own time. I think also you don't necessarily have to have any particular kind of accolades or expertise in a particular area to generate a discussion on that topic. I think being in a school or having any experience in a classroom or in education at any level means that you can draw from your first-hand experiences and generate discussions and conversations with others.
Yeah, fantastic, yeah. So you offer free professional development, don't you? So how important is formal recognition of that learning to you guys?
Sorry, could you ask me that question again?
Yeah. So how important is formal recognition to the professional development opportunities, the free opportunities that you offer to teachers?
I think they're really, really good, because when we do those free TeachMeet events and CPD, we often have people that volunteer to share something that they've done in the education sector with others, and we also have a lot of attendees who make an effort to come in their own time, usually on weekends, and have a lot to gain or learn from those experiences and what the speakers share. And what I particularly like about it is the resources and the things that are shared or talked about in those TeachMeets are then often shared with the audience, and so resources or some kind of skills or different activities that staff have tried can then be shared across the staff that are at the event, and then it can be it's a way of spreading things in different schools and trying things, and so different students across different parts of the country sometimes gain from what's been shared at just one event.
Yeah, fantastic, yeah. So why do you think CPD is so important in education, the whole education arena today?
I would say it's really important because the world and also the education world is changing really, really quickly. The number of challenges are increasing. So much is happening so fast, and teachers, I like to focus on the assets of people, and I feel like every teacher that I know wants to learn something new or is interested in knowing the best way in which they can help their students. And so for that reason, I see CPD as really important.
Fantastic, yeah. So what's a common misconception that you come across, talking about CPD, especially when it comes to like informal CPD through podcasts and, the kind of live radio discussions?
I'd say, I know a lot of people call it imposter syndrome. I don't want to say imposter syndrome necessarily, but I think a lot of the time teachers will think that they aren't experts in a particular area and so aren't qualified to discuss it or talk about it. But actually, I feel like if you're in a school, if you teach a class, if you're in education in any kind of form or have been in the past, or even plan to go in it in the future, I think you've got something that's important to say, and there will always be somebody with a shared experience who can, and you can share your experiences with each other, or you can generate discussion. So I'd say the biggest misconception is probably feeling like you're not an expert, and so you're not in the right place to talk about a particular topic or to generate discussion. But I disagree with that.
Right.
And I'd say also what I really like about Teachers Talk Radio is we have a lot of teacher-led discussions where people generate discussion based on current events and what's currently being discussed in education, and off the back of their discussions a lot of people can share their experiences but also learn about what's happening in the education world currently.
Absolutely. I mean, at the CPD group we provide CPD accreditation for podcasts and webinars and things like that because we see the true educational value that's being shared in those discussions, like you mentioned, because there's lots of different kind of experiences and things that other people haven't thought of before perhaps that is being shared, so we find that educational value is as strong as all the other forms of CPD as well, so that's why we provide accreditation service for it. Amazing. So from your perspective then, what real value do educational podcasts and live radio shows like the ones that you deliver offer teachers, professional development and classroom practice?
Well, they're always in teachers' own time, which I think is excellent. I would also say that they are very relatable because they often come from teachers that are currently in education and are currently experiencing the things that they're talking about. And I feel like that goes a really long way in teaching. It's so nice. I love to tune into other people's shows and to hear about I'm always interested in anecdotes. I think there's a lot to learn from anecdotes. What often happens in CPD sometimes is you'll only get one chance to listen to a session on a particular thing, and you might need more time, or you might have questions, or I feel like CPD is more long-lasting when you get to revisit it when it's coming from people with similar experiences.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I'd say.
Yeah, it's that kind of that peer education, isn't it? Where you can actually really listen to somebody who's lived it in the same way that you're living it at the same time. So brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
Yasmin.
you.
It's been great to hear what you guys are doing at Teachers Talk Radio.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much to Yasmin, and we will be back with the next interview shortly. All right. Thank you, Yasmin. Bye-bye.